Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Africa Muslim Agency, one of the organizations in our midst, mashallah, doing amazing work, serving the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam nationally and internationally. Doing amazing work, and I'm sure many of you already got involved with the Africa Muslim Agency or in a way or another. And mashallah, they are now in Syria. They are already in Syria for a long time, but they are now in Syria. We have brother Hassan Choonara online via Zoom to tell us about their projects and some updates of Africa Muslim Agency's activities in Syria. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Hassan.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, Sheikh Sami, and to the viewers of Hilaal TV. Shukran for having us on this beautiful morning.
Always welcome, Hassan, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all your efforts. But tell us in the beginning, Hassan, yani just give us some updates of all the activities of Africa Muslim Agency.
Alhamdulillah, like you mentioned, Sheikh, Africa Muslim Agency permanently based in Lebanon and Syria, assisting the refugees for a number of years on a number of projects. You know, you have the Bread of Hope project, you have the Orphan Hope project, you have the construction of the dignity tents, rehabilitation of tents and homes. But right now, obviously, myself and a brother from South Africa, alhamdulillah, here joining our teams in Lebanon and Syria to further enhance the work that's already been doing. Why? Because there is a massive need on the ground. As many families, Syrian refugee families, make their way back home to Syria, you know, naturally, perhaps we think that as people return home, things will be okay. Things are okay. Things are fine, and that's the furthest. That's further from the truth. Things are not okay. People are returning homes in anticipation of rebuilding their lives, only to find that when they get to a home, what was once a beautiful home is now just a pile of rock and rubble, and many of them, all of them, are in need right now in Syria. So yes, the situation is dire, is critical. Over the last few days, we've been visiting a number of areas, villages, as well as the suburbs within the towns, for example, around Damascus. And how do you explain the sight before you of blocks of apartments or apartment blocks, one after the other, completely destructed, damaged, and not possible for any person to live in. So people are coming back home to Syria, but where are they going to be staying? What are they going to be doing? And that's the difficult part right now.
Tell me about the projects. How Africa Muslim Agency are helping the people of Syria? Yeah, can you? Yes.
You have the hour of need, the response to the hour of need.
Go ahead.
In terms of the distribution of hot meals, of bread, of food baskets, as people are hungry. Remember, people are leaving their camps in Lebanon and other parts and going home, but they're going home with no means, no food, and living in areas where there is no accessibility to means and no chance of even trying to get a job, so to speak. Living the fields which have been around the fields, the farming fields which have been completely destroyed. And so people are living in front of what was once a home in a tent and absolutely in need. So yes, we are giving hot meals, food baskets, bread, etc. But long term, you know, the construction of boreholes, the rehabilitation of masajid, the rehabilitation of schools. We've been to so many schools where children, by the hundreds who are returning home, are going to what was the infrastructure of a school, but it is completely damaged with no windows, no doors. You find 40 people in a class with no proper desks, children sitting on the floor, sitting on bricks, no chalkboard, no tools, no syllabus, no books, but yet they're eager to learn. And the list can go on. You know, Sheikh, so many families you meet. One is the family not having food, not having adequate shelter, living in the cold. And when you sit with the family, just to explain two incidents yesterday, sitting with two mothers, their son was obviously detained 13 years ago. And even though the war is over, they do not know where he is. He's not returned. The prisons are empty, whether he's alive, whether he's passed on. He was the breadwinner of the house. 12 years of trauma, living in a refugee camp in atrocious conditions. Now finally returning home, hoping that, you know, their home would still be standing to some degree, only to see their home completely demolished. and now at 64 years old and 65 years old, going into an apartment that they kind of found livable but does not belong to them. And the owner has returned and now asked them to leave his apartment. Within a few days, they'll be out on the street with no means. And the mother at 62 years old says, what more can I do? I don't know what else to do. My husband's physically challenged, he has medical conditions. We have a debt to pay the pharmacy for the medicine. There's no bread in the home, and the list can go on, Sheikh. But for us, AMA is trying to assist these families with the support of donors, and we need the continuous support to rebuild the lives of people in Syria and Lebanon.
How can our brothers and sisters who are watching us right now today, by the way, we're talking about feeding the hungry, and subhanallah, the segment just came, the topic just came in alignment with what we're having now, feeding the hungry people, other projects. How can our viewers support Africa Muslim Agency in alleviating the tough time of our brothers and sisters in Syria?
Yes, absolutely, Sheikh. We need the support of donors. We're asking them to go to the website africamuslimsagency.co.za, contact any one of the officers, the staff, the volunteers, the consultants around the country, and find out what's happening on the ground. The situation is still volatile. People I need. Just think of thousands of people trying to go back home. If Allah protect one and all, but we always remind to put ourselves in a situation to get the realization of what's actually happening. And it was us that were going back home, what was once a home, to find nothing but rubble. And where do you start? Apart from having the shelter and clothing and food, you have medical challenges within a home. You need to find a job. There's so many complexities just with what you see in face value. These families need assistance. So we ask the viewers to go to africamuslimagency.co.za, support the efforts in Lebanon. The teams on the ground and in Syria, as they go home, need our urgent intervention and assistance.
Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah khairan, Hassan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your efforts and accept from you. And may Allah accept from all the donors and all those who love to support and all those who love khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from them. Allahumma ameen. Shukran for joining us this morning. Jazakallah khair al-jaza.
شكرا لك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله. السلام عليكم. This is our brother Hassan Choonara, and Hassan, one of the regional directors of Africa Muslim Agency. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their efforts and the efforts of every single one behind the scenes, and those who are knowing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support people and to feed people and to take care of them. As we were talking earlier, subhanallah, we're talking about this subject of feeding the hungry. And here are the opportunities for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let you hear about them. Allah has just planned for you to hear about them for a reason. For us not to have any excuse and say, I didn't know. Where are they? Here are they. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the capacity, inshallah, to support and to give generously, because this is what remain in the next life. This is what remain. What you give for Allah, what you spend for Allah, this is what will remain for you forever, inshallah. طيب, let us take a short break. We'll come back after the break, inshallah. Stay with us.